Hey guys, so Samsung recently released the Samsung Z Flip 5 and Fold 5. So I thought I'd give my 2 cents on these phones and touch upon the choice dilemma which some of you may have when you're looking at upgrading to one of these phones. Now earlier this year Samsung did release their S range for 2023, the S23, S23 Plus, S23 Ultra. They are candy bar style, so a rectangular piece of glass, no flipping, no folding. You should still check out those phones. They're still great phones, great cameras, great screens, great UI, just great experience overall. But what everyone has been looking at recently is the Z range. And it's easy to see why. You know, when you went to a shop and you look at the Flip, the Fold, and you look at it changing, either from a smaller phone into a larger phone, or like the Fold, you open it up and it suddenly becomes a tablet. It sounds gimmicky, but when you start using this, it does change the way that you use your phone. Now, another reason that you've maybe seen these phones is because Samsung have been throwing so much money at advertising these phones around the world. I've seen ads all around the UK. My wife and son and I were just back from 3 weeks in India. We had a couple of days in Dubai as well, and we saw Samsung advertisements everywhere. They're just heavily promoting the Z range. And I stopped at a number of Samsung shops to play around with it, and I stopped at the exhibit that they've got in the Dubai shopping centre as well, underneath the Burj Khalifa. And I got to play around with both of those phones. So as far as the Flip 5 goes, I don't want to bore you too much with specs and features, etc. Please do check that out yourself. But what I will say is that when you do pick it up for the first time, it's a very good looking phone. It gives you that, that wow factor that you just don't get with most phones nowadays. It got kind of boring for a long period of time there. The screen at the front is gorgeous. It's so easy to open up and shut down. It's just amazing. It's a really good experience. It's fast. And from what I've seen online, the pictures and the videos that this phone can produce as well looks really impressive. So the camera system looks good as well. As far as which one I would upgrade to, the Flip is maybe what I was looking at the most. And it's just because I've been using the Fold for a year. It's kind of big and bulky in a way. So when I saw the Flip and I saw how light it was the phone that I was kind of attracted to. So it looks really, really good. But Samsung have, of course, they released the Fold 5 as well. It's a lighter phone and, they've got a smaller case for the pen now. It's not as bulky as it was before. And I even saw a game controller that they've got now for the Fold 4 and Fold 5 so that you can play games with the Samsung Fold series a lot better. So that's a cool little accessory. So I must admit that the Fold 5 was something I was really looking forward to seeing, but when it was announced, I just wasn't impressed. And I think most people have felt that way, in that the Samsung Fold 5 appears to be the Fold 4B or Part 2. It doesn't seem like a major iteration of the series. Now, it is an improvement, and there's no way of getting around it. It is an improvement. I picked up the phone. I was really impressed. They've got rid of the gap in the middle here. It does feel a little bit lighter, perhaps because I'm used to using this with a case, but it did feel lighter. It was a really good looking phone. It just looked really nice. And there's just a lot of kind of minor tweaks they've done to the system. But those tweaks, those improvements are minor. It's pretty much got the exact same camera system. They've just bumped up the CPU one generation, Gen 1 to Gen 2. And most other things, apart from being a couple of grams lighter, it's essentially the same phone for the most part. They've improved a few things here or there, but there really isn't enough to upgrade for me. And that's what I want to talk about, the upgrade dilemma. So Samsung have got a trade-in system, a trade-in program, just like Apple does as well. And they do accept many different phones, but I suspect a lot of people who do use the Samsung trade-in program are upgrading their Samsung phone. They're a loyal Samsung customer. And their trading prices are not great. Now, this is something David Harry touched upon a few weeks ago. He did a video where he was talking about the trade-in prices that are offered in the USA when compared to the UK. And the trade-in prices in North America seem to be quite good, but here in the UK, those trade-in prices are quite bad, actually. So I'll give you an example with my phone. This phone, I did pick it up used a few weeks after it was released, but brand new, this phone, just a few months ago was £1,750 or £1,800 for the 512 version. And the 1 terabyte version could be up to £2,100. Now, the annoying thing I hate that Samsung do in their trade-in program is that even if you get the 256, the 512, the 1TB, it doesn't matter which storage model that you get, they offer the same trade-in price. So when you do opt for those higher storage models, you're being penalised for it. You're paying all this extra money for storage, you're paying over the odds for that storage, and then you don't get any more for your phone when you trade it in. And just to put it into perspective, this was an £1,800 phone just a few months ago. If I get the Flip 5, they will offer me £560. If I get the Fold 5, they offer me £650. You're losing £1,000 or so when you trade in these phones. Less, you're kind of losing less if you're trading Flip 4 into Flip 5. You've not paid as much, you're not losing as much. It's a kind of secret killer to these phones. The depreciation is something you don't think about at the time, but it's one of the biggest costs of these phones. And I kind of feel like they're missing the mark here, because if they offered a better trade-in, I would pony up some extra cash. I would get the new Flip 5 or the Fold 5. I wouldn't have to think about it. I'd say, oh, that's a good trade-in price. I'd put extra money down and I'd get the new version of the phone. But their trade-in prices are so low that it's making me think, I'll just hold out to see what the Apple iPhone is like, the new one, when it comes out in a month or so. Or I just hold on to this phone for the next year. Still a great phone. It essentially is a Fold 5 anyway. So I might just hold on to the phone for another year. So it's a little bit frustrating, and that's the dilemma I think a lot of people are going to have. I think their trade-in prices are not competitive enough here in the UK, which means that you're either going to sell privately on eBay or somewhere else, or instead of upgrading every year, which many of us do like to do because, more money than sense, but we do like our gadgets. But I think a lot of us, because the trade-in prices aren't good, and because the upgrades maybe aren't as good, we might just upgrade every 2 years rather than every year. And that seems, I don't know, it just seems short-sighted. I feel that if they offered better trade-in prices, they'd get more of us to upgrade. We'd all get the latest phone, and we'd probably do the same next year as well. But overall, I must say, forgetting upgrades, forgetting about the difference between the Flip and Fold phones from last year and this year, I was very impressed with the Samsung Z Flip 5 and Fold 5. They're very impressive phones. I've not tested them as yet. I've just played around with them in shops, but I can recommend them, just having, used the Fold 4 over the last year. They're very interesting phones. They're very sexy phones. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this, guys. What's your thoughts on the Samsung Flip 5 and the Fold 5? Are you rocking an existing Samsung phone? And if so, have you checked out those trade-in prices? And are they affecting your decision as to whether you upgrade? The old Samsung dilemma. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. As always, please do leave a comment below. And until next time, take care.